Okay, I'm gonna go copy this. Go ahead.
Jai Baba, Jeff, I loved your song, the healing song.
Oh, yeah.
And I just found the words to it. So next time you sing it, I'm going to record it so I can learn how to sing.
Okay, yeah.
Jeff, who wrote that song?
This is by
a couple of guys from a church in Massachusetts.
Oh, really?
Anderson. I have it here written down.
Yeah.
C. Anderson. Yeah.
Oh.
C.
And what is the name?
Anderson and J. Earl.
And what is the name of the
I got
song?
the words.
The healing song.
The healing
song.
Do you have a recording of that, Jeff?
No,
Where's Jeff's CD?
I
Where's
don't-
Jeff's? Where's Jeff's MP3s?
Yeah. no.
Where's the Jeff Wolverton project? And that has to be on it because he's
I haven't.
so beautiful. Because when I think of that song, I think of you singing it. And I thought, oh, I wish I took my phone and did a voice memo song.
Oh,
I could
I
have
had
been a
sung that
pirate.
in a good while. I mean, it's probably been, I don't know, maybe a year or two. Yeah. I forgot the chords completely, but then they suddenly came back to me.
Beautiful song.
Muscle memory is a good thing.
Say good night, folks.
There's Baba.
Good
Yeah.
night, Jay Baba. Jay Baba, I gotta go
Yeah.
too.
Hey, Michelle. Yeah.
Bye.
Hey, Baba, Michelle, thank you for your new song. It's beautiful.
That's what I ran off onto the porch 3 nights ago to do. I was like, I had to finish it. And Marvin sat here and I went out there and I was back and forth. But that's what I was doing. I started it before RT and I had to finish it.
Gorgeous song.
Yeah, thank you. It's coming along. So the bridge is okay? I don't know. I think so. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you made okay.
Baba just let him try to do the work through me. I don't know. Or I try to be a conduit. Jay Baba, good.
Yep. See you,
Hey,
Michelle.
Baba, good night. Sleep tight.
Dr. Marvin and Aaron. Yeah.
So Alan's showing Baba's in his alphabet board.
Yeah. Sometimes Baba points just, if he goes over one more column, 2 more columns, it's sometimes Baba points to Fox, F-O-X, going down. So you'll see him sometimes pointing to, because he's the fox.
Who's the fox?
Baba. Just by pointing, sometimes he'll point to that column of letters, F-O-X.
I had one of my first dreams with Baba. There was a big M in the wall, and I was being pulled into the infinite galaxy, and I didn't want to go, but I was feeling myself getting pulled, and I was scared, so I screamed out loud, and I woke up, and then I opened this book, and he was pointing at M.
Yeah.
It
Isn't that something?
was a big M in a big, like, old cabin-looking thing. But it was a giant M, and I was like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
Who is M?
M for Meher Baba, Meher, yeah.
I think it's for Meher
Oh,
Baba.
M for Meher. Oh,
Yeah, that's how I took it. I don't know though.
That's right.
It was this topic of poise. I think is very, very critical when it comes to everyday living, because in this chapter, that little part that I read, Bob was talking about, even if you're in the Sahara Desert and you have no water, and then you guys come across a bottle of water, if you decide to lunge forward and grab the bottle yourself, that's a form of selfishness. But if you let everybody else go for the water and feed themselves, or satiate themselves, and you die, then that's a form of poise. And I'm like, well, what about for us on the everyday? Like, are we really? If somebody like gives us a backhand of like being mean to us, rude to us, do we just take that and be like, thank you, Baba? Or sometimes I feel like we have to stand up or we have to assert what we feel is in our hearts the right thing with the next action without necessarily dying in the Sahara Desert. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Erich used to say, quoting Ramakrishna, he gave the story. There was a snake that was ravaging this village, these villages, and it had been striking people for years and years. And one day, it felt remorse, and it came to a saint, and the saint, convinced him, "Don't do this anymore. Why are you doing it? You're striking fear in everybody and everything. Just don't do that no more." And the saint said he would look after him. So anyway, so he so that he wouldn't strike anymore. But then the kids started kind of coming around and throwing stones at him and everything, and ripping his skin off and everything like that. And he eventually made it back to the saint, and they said, "What happened to you? Look at your, people have taken advantage of you, have torn your skin, they've thrown stones at you." And the snake said, "But you said it, I shouldn't strike anymore." And the saint said, "Yes, but I didn't say not to hiss." So, sometimes you have to protect yourself by hissing, scaring somebody off. If they have inappropriate designs, like some guy having inappropriate advances on a woman, she can give him a drop dead look or whatever, and just keep them at a distance. But ideally not at a distance from her heart.
And so I guess poise goes into what Baba was saying, where you're neither like overtaken with the happiness and joy and experience, the excited bliss of this situation, or the other part of it where you're like, I'm hungry, I'm tired, and this person's talking bad to me, and I just feel so, the highs and the lows. I suppose the poise is to just recognize, like, you do what you need to do, but you're not either way influenced by these highs and lows.
Yeah, and I think not to take your reactions so seriously. Even if you do react with anger or impatience and everything, it's taking them too seriously that shows the lack of poise.
You mean like having it replay in your head kind of thing, like, oh, I did that and I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, just we are going to respond in positive and negative ways to the life as it unfolds around us.
Oh.
But not to take our reactions so seriously, just to continue on.
Yeah.
There's a line from Rumi where he says, "Dogs, dogs bark at the moon, but still it continues on its course unaffected."
I like that one.
Yeah. But standing up for the truth and standing up for yourself can be two different things. A lot of people are always defending themselves, but they may not be defending the truth. I mean,
that's a good distinction.
Yeah, I mean, you can defend yourself if it's defending, I mean, ideally, you can defend yourself if you're defending the truth. But if you're just defending your own self, sometimes that's, well, like I say, that takes a second opinion sometimes.
Well, it's like you were saying, I remember one of these talks, you were talking about like, almost like on the topic of like choose your, I mean, I'm putting it in my own words, but like choose your battles or something, like, if somebody's being rude to you in a particular moment, and that you might be right about whatever that is, right about the situation, but instead of instead of arguing with them or making it worse and then showing them how they're wrong, you just kind of like, okay, like, you know, just kind of like let them have their thoughts of whatever they think they're winning, and letting go of your opinion that you think you're right. You know, I mean, this is just what I remember you talking about. Like,
Yeah,
you
so,
can't always win.
yeah. And there is a quote from Baba to Arnavas. It is nothing to give in when you are wrong, but it has spiritual value to give in when you are right.
Right.
That's
Because then, you know, we defend our ego, you know.
yeah.
When we want to be right no matter what, you know, and create an argument, we're just defending our ego, and then it's just escalates, you know, the violence, whatever it is, the animosity.
You're right.
So if you let it go, the ego,
Yeah.
and if let the other person have their own opinion, you know, it doesn't affect you if you don't, if you're coming from a deeper, you know, place on yourself, of a deeper presence, instead of only from your shallow ego, you know, then you'll be okay with the other person being right, you know. I mean,
or the other person having the right to have an opinion different from yours, you know, to give them that right. The image comes to my mind as creating that empty space within us where things flow through rather than meet with resistance.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
yeah.
And sometimes too, if you kind of is standing up for what you believe or what you feel is the truth, is it really going to make any change in that other person? If it isn't going to make any change, then you're wasting, you know, you're wasting your effort.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, I have somebody in my neighborhood, well, quite a few people who have a quite different theological view of the situation in this country. But, you know, I don't have to defend where I'm coming from. I don't feel I have to, you know, because I'm what I say is not, if it would make some change in their view for the better, I would say something. But if it's not, why? I don't feel I have to defend my ideology. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just kind of a waste.
I think for me, Baba really grinds it when it's like my sense of being disrespected, for example. So like people I work with that, you know, there's somebody I work with that is pretty hot-tempered, and so, you know, I understand the nature of like their, you know, their anger or their frustrations at the situation, and I'm the one that's telling them to do these jobs, and they're like, why are you making me do this, you know, blah blah blah. And at certain points sometimes I can take that to a certain extent, but that's sometimes there's these flares where it becomes personal, where it tries, it's like this thing of like talking about, you know, we're talking about how this is all challenging, and then it turns into, no, you're making it challenging, and I don't like what you're doing about it. And then that's when I take it personally, because I'm like, wait a minute, I'm trying to help you out, man, and now you're coming up, you're all wrong. So that's where my stickiness gets, where I'm like, you know, I have to kind of stand up at least a little bit for myself and be like, hey, you know, I prefer when people talk to me with respect. You know, I don't like being talked to like that. That's not okay for people to swear at me, or, you know, like, don't do that. You know, that for me is, I don't know. That's,
It's a judgment call given the person, you know.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
um,
Well, there's always that hang up option.
There is. Yeah, but not when you're having to, you're having, in this situation, we're having to finalize like a specific time frame. We're supposed to get I can't even think anymore. We're supposed to get an objective done, and I need to be on this phone with this person because we have to be here at 2:30, and you can't be any later than that because they're going to leave. And this phone call is very specific and important. And so I have to very much utilize taking in this person's anger and at the same time spinning it around and saying, I understand you're angry, and then not getting upset myself and be like, but we have to make this appointment, blah, 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 blah. Like sticking to the point, you know, like coming back to the point of conversation.
Maybe,
It gets
maybe saying something like, I'll call you back when you feel calmer to talk to me.
Yeah, this person doesn't get calmer.
Yeah, yeah, right. In fact, that they can take that as an insult.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
it's a kind of sticky whirlwind.
Mhm.
One of the major problems is we have a sense of justice. Sense of justice is, it's not the real justice. It's our idea and society's kind of notion of justice.
Oh, like you're pinning the ego.
So you get tripped up. I mean, it's ultimate justice, and the ultimate justice may mean that you're treated unjustly. Because treating you unjustly may be the thing that gets you to grow.
Yeah.
So you can't, our standards of justice are kind of helpful up to a certain point, but they're not absolute. They're just basically kind of man-made.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's normal to have slip-ups, especially if you have to work in close quarters with someone who, you know, in a every day for 7 months, they have that sort of temperament.
Yeah.
You're gonna have your slip-ups, you know, where it's like, hey, why are you talking to me like this? It's not fair.
Yeah, no, and that can clear the air, actually.
Yeah.
Call them on stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I figure it's like trying to be honest in certain scenarios rather than letting it get pent up. So many of us just let it get built up and then resentful, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I don't know how many, maybe people in this group, I don't know how many people are dealing with annoying people in their lives, but I'm having to deal with constant barrage of people that I'm trying to remember Baba and, you know, trying to remember that Baba's in them.
No, we all went through, Alan. I mean, I had the same thing happen at work. This constant bickering, I mean, you know, and I would sense it all the time. I know it, and then they were not also subtle. I mean, it's pretty straight. But I don't know. I guess at that moment I did feel bad and all that stuff. And I guess it remained for a couple of days. And then I guess I remembered Baba or prayed to him or did something. It would just go away. And later I've learned to just follow a practice of while walking into work, I'll mentally visualize that there is Baba in every seat, in every chair. I mean, in place of those guys or themselves as Baba. And I would come out in the evening and I think I'll have a little less of such issues happening.
Wow. No, I know one of the things I think of is when there's some altercation, I think, how am I going to feel about this 10 years from now? And I'm thinking, I may not even remember this. It's no big deal. I can let it go. You know, it's not that I'm not standing up for myself. I can do that if I'm confident I can stand up for myself. So that gives me, I don't have to stand up for myself for my sense of well-being. I can let somebody have a wrong opinion about me and as Prophet Muhammad said, give God time. So eventually everything comes around.
Right, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, I just discover, I mean, you probably find that too. I was never able to set the record straight. I had to give up the 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 mentality of getting things, setting things straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there's always going to be situations that you never are able to get right or set the record straight.
Right.
People have an opinion of you and they carry it for years and years, and you know it's not true. And but if you spend all the time trying to each situation trying to set the record straight, you'll you won't have much time for other things.
Yeah.
That is very true, Jeff. I mean, it does happen.
Yeah.
You know, particularly at places of work and all that stuff. I mean, you always have a sort of brand that you get attached to, like you're a morning person or a late person and stuff like that. And then, but I think you're right. I mean, you just have to accept that things are the way they are and then just move on and let it go and do your thing.
I mean, that connects with poise in a certain way. You know, you kind of don't go there because you don't feel like you're any less for not going there, for not standing up for yourself. You're not diminished by someone walking away thinking that you're more of a jerk than you actually are.
But I think there's one example. I think we talked about it a few days ago or a few weeks ago. Remember when I think Robert Dreyfus, or what's his name, Richard or Robert? Robert Dreyfus. He ends up after all this harrowing journey in India, and then he had Baba's darshan. And after that, one day he happens to be in trust office, and then there is some issue with something, I mean, a plumbing or some problem. And I think, Jeff, you told us a story, but I hope I'm saying it right. Correct me where I go wrong. But one of the, I think it's Padri or Padri who walks in.
Padri and Adi, yeah.
Adi, go ahead. I think now you would say it right. Go ahead.
Well, no, I mean, Padri comes in there and he's yelling and everything like that in Gujarati. So Robert doesn't know what we're talking about. And he pisses off Adi. Adi starts yelling back and everything, and they're going at it, you know. And finally, Padri just storms out. And Adi looks over at, you know, Robert Dreyfus, said, you know, did that bother you? I wanted to disappear. I wanted to, you know, the earth to swallow me up.
No, that to me is poise.
And Adi turned to him and said, well, it didn't bother us.
I think that's poise. I mean, I think you just blow it off, blow the top, and then just forget about it the next moment, and everything is cool.
They're so confident in their experience of Baba that anybody that contradicts it and everything doesn't, it's like it dings off like
when Robert Dreyfus shared that story, he also mentioned that at one point he thought that they were going to get at each other and choke each other.
Oh, it's that saying Baba said, do it in such a way that your heart doesn't know about it.
Yeah.
The anger.
Yeah.
Express it, but without your heart knowing anything about it.
Don't be it. Yeah. Don't be angry. No, mock anger is one of it's valuable to have in your toolbox. Mock anger. It's actually it's more effective. Gets the job done better than real anger. Has a barb in there and fractures things. Then you got a mess on your hands.
You're right, Jeff. I was just thinking about it. Mock anger would definitely work because we haven't closed the other channel. I mean, your love is still flowing, or at least you're not so affected. In that channel is open, and then but you're just taking it off from this level.
We should have that be a topic of our improv class that Tina does. Practice it really.
Yeah.
Like an actor would. An actor, when they're playing a role, they don't really feel anger, but they act angry.
Yeah.
That's the beauty.
You know what I used to do when I'd go to India, and especially in the early years, and Kitty would load me up with all sorts of medical equipment stuff to take over. And so I'd have all these suitcases, and I'd get there to Bombay, and these red caps would grab my stuff. I didn't want them I had to have my hands on everything, because they could just disappear with one of the suitcases. So what I would do is I'd go, I just make up. I couldn't speak that fast in English, and I'd like they would drop everything and leave me alone. In fact,
that's great.
What dialect is this guy speaking?
No, that's a beauty, actually. Yeah.
But it works. It works.
Yeah, it does. It does.
And I wouldn't get irritated with him. In fact, it was kind of amusing to me. But it sounded so authoritative, even though it was completely hollow.
Jeff, do you know the story of Eknath?
The Perfect Master Eknath?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
He was a poet and philosopher. I do not know if he's a perfect master.
Yeah, he was a perfect master.
1500s.
Baba bowed at his tomb.
Oh, okay. But do you know there was a story that Erich was narrating in one of his talks about his anger. Do you know that story?
No, I don't think I do. I might have.
You probably do, but let me try to say quickly. I listened to the tape just today. So this gentleman lives in a town called Paitan, which is very close to Ahmednagar, about 40 miles or 40 kilometers. I don't precisely know. But he used to live there way back in when Mughals were ruling India. That there was a king by name Aurangzeb. He used to be the king, and then this gentleman Eknath used to work for the government which Aurangzeb ruled. So, and there was something very peculiar about him. He would never get angry, never. I mean, there's nothing that can shake him off and then spew anger at anybody. And Erich narrates a couple of instances in his life. So this gentleman would walk in the street, and then there'll be lots of things happening to him. People would just to make him angry, would throw dust or, throw garbage at him. And then he would simply say, "Thank you, God, for asking me to have another bath." And then he would go to the river and have a bath, and then, he'll smile. He'll never get angry and all. So that's his nature. So this irritates a lot of people locally. I mean, they just say, "Why is he like that? I mean, is something wrong with him? Is he mad or whatever?" So this becomes a challenge to the people living in the town, that somebody should make him, really angry at some point of time. I mean, we have to figure out a way. So, and as used to be the custom in those days, after the work during the day, all the people would gather under the banyan tree there, and there's a round patio or something, and they would sit on it, chat, play cards, and do things like that. And one day it so happens there is a Brahmin priest who comes to that particular town from a neighboring town. And then he sees these people sitting under a banyan tree in the evening, and then he goes there, and then he just looks at those people who are there, and then one of them says, "Why are you here, man?" And then the priest says, look, I mean, I'm from the neighboring town. I have no money, but my daughter is of marriageable age. So I'm looking for somebody who can give me some money so that I can marry her off. And looking at him, this guy says, of course we'll do that, but you have to do us a favor. And he says, what is that? You have a challenge to encounter. What you need to do is to make this particular gentleman, Eknath, be angry. And that's your job. If you do that, then we'll give you the money. So then there's a boy sitting there, and then they'll have this Brahmin be taken to Eknath's place, and the boy shows him the place. So he goes there, and then the custom is basically, and he goes as a guest. And Eknath and his wife, they offer him food and do things like that. And all the while, this man is really thinking of how to make this man angry and take that money and then go home and then get his daughter married. So while, he does all the pranks while eating food, he'll just act nasty and do things like that. Each time, Eknath never gets upset. And I think there was something special which Erich mentioned, I forgot. But anyway, so what happens is, so this man is still thinking about how to make him angry. All the things he does fail. He's always smiling and happy and laughing. So there comes a point when this guy chooses the last worst option that he has. So while eating food, it so happens that the woman, the lady of the house, goes into the kitchen and then picks the utensils and brings the food and puts it near them. She keeps doing that. And then this Brahmin notices a time when she actually bends on while picking the food. And he says, let me now go and piggyback on her so that this man obviously cannot take it anymore. And then he'll just get angry. And then, I would succeed in my mission. So he does that actually. He just goes piggyback on the woman, and then he just holds her and holds her neck and then does that. And when he does that, this man says, he calls his wife and says, I asked her to be careful. God is in a, happy mood. He's in a playful mood, and still he doesn't get angry. So because he thinks this man is God, basically, because any guest who comes to the home is God. So even after he does that, he says, look, God is in a very playful mood. Be careful, don't fall. So that's when this man really gives up, and he couldn't make him angry. And all this while, the people who challenged this Brahmin are still waiting out there under the banyan tree, hoping to get an answer, saying that this man has succeeded or failed, whatever the result is. So, and then and also after this happens in the kitchen, and he fails to make him angry. So this man blurts out to Eknath saying that, look, I'm here, I want to have my daughter married, and I was told if I make you angry, then I'll get some money. And that's the reason why I'm here. And then Eknath says, why didn't you tell me this before? And so then he says, okay, let's go out. And then they go to the banyan tree, and all this while Eknath is just shouting at him all the time, cursing him, this and that. And then they end up under the banyan tree. And then the people ask, they know, they're seeing all this cursing that is going on against, and then they feel very happy that at least this man has succeeded. And then they're about to give the money to this Brahmin, the priest. And then the Brahmin says, I don't need your money. And then he prostrates at the feet of this man, Eknath. And he says, he is my master. And that's the story about the anger and poise. Not the poise. So, but like you said, he may be a perfect man. He's probably a perfect master, as you said, Jeff. Yeah. But that's the story I read. Erich says it beautifully, though. I don't know if I said the way he would say, but it was a nice story.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was a perfect master, and I think
Yeah.
went to his
He
tomb.
lived in 1500s, yeah, 1533 to 1599, yeah.
Yeah. No, these guys they're operating outside the the system.
Yeah. I like the word system.
The Matrix.
That's right, the Matrix.
I mean, we don't really come across very many, let's say, I don't know what we come across in America, agents or I don't know what we have here in America, but
Well, Bob was asked when he was here, I think by Fred Winterfeld, but Fred was there and Darwin was there and someone else, and they asked if there were any musts in America. And Bob, they said he was kind of scanned, looked like he was looking over the whole country. And he said there are a few, but you're not to contact them.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
But he met an agent in New Mexico, right? Baba did see an agent in New Mexico somewhere.
And a few places also at Sing Sing.
Oh, that prison, yeah.
Different.
Agents, I can believe, but musts got intoxicated?
Yep.
Wow. Well, Alan is on his way.
But you're gonna have to come help me when I get stuck.
I'll be there, brother. I got your back.
The sign of must is that they started out on the spiritual path without a master. They didn't have a master, so that's how they got drunk and there was no bouncer in the place.
But then how does that happen if like Muhammad, I know he just like one day woke up, right? He just got out of bed and had a wife and then he got out of bed and he was like, ah, and it was like that was it. Like that was just his time to he wasn't even necessarily a spiritual seeker, I don't think. I mean, it must have been.
No, but he had a talent of guessing the right numbers for the lottery.
Right.
So he would come home with all sorts of money in his pockets and give it to his wife. He had certain abilities. I guess his father had a brick company, making bricks. But yeah, one day he woke up in the middle of dressing and he just went, like that. And with his arms and legs stretched out, he stayed like that for 3 weeks.
Wow.
And finally kind of came out of it and he made his way. It was south of, it might have been in Goa, south of Bombay, and he made his way to Bombay looking for, he said, a Parsi gentleman. But really what he was looking for, that was his term for fellow musts, advanced people. And because he had the ability for numbers and everything, he could give the right numbers. And he was able to, these people that did the betting would come to him and he'd give the right numbers in exchange for food. Even though he didn't have a sensation in his body, he knew that he had to eat food to keep alive. So he would, they had a nice arrangement where he would be given in food in exchange for the winning numbers in the lottery. But eventually, somebody recognized him and gave him a place to stay under his restaurant. And he became known as, as a saintly person and everything. And then Pleader was one of the Mandali. One time when they were out looking for musts, Pleader discovered him and brought him to Rahuri. This is 1936. And he said, Muhammad said it took him 3 days to recognize Baba for who he was. And he said Baba gave him his work. Prior to that, he didn't have any work. I mean, any specific work. And Baba gave him his work, and then Errico asked him, are you still doing that work? And he said yes. After all, whatever, 50 years, still doing the work that Baba gave him, which was, well, he took their energy and their power at a local level and linked it up to a universal, Baba's universal cause. So Baba,
wasn't he a churchman of France or something?
he was connected with France. No, Germany. He was connected with Germany.
Oh, Germany. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, they have large numbers of people in them. You know, they're not like, you know, sitting up there in New Jersey, you know, with each have your own private chair and everything. They're all over the place.
Are there still mosques now? Are they still around?
Yeah.
On the
I've
earth?
seen some mosques. I've seen some mosques. You can tell, you'd be surprised, you can spot a mosque because even their body language is different from anyone else. I mean, Baba said that, I mean, I can't remember the quote exactly, but mind working normal is man, mind working fast is mad, mind working slow is must, mind stopped is God.
Mm.
And because they're slowed down, their movements are, you can see a whole lot of people in a crowd, and then you naturally go to this one person who is kind of a little bit like in slow motion. There's a kind of grandeur, and they have lustrous eyes usually, Christ-like eyes.
Their eyes, you said.
Yeah, I mean, and I've seen a few of them
In India?
in India. Yeah.
Alan, have you seen Erwin Lux's movie, Avatar of the Age, the movie?
How long is it?
It's long and it's beautiful. It's my
Avatar.
favorite movie. It
Is
shows Baba working with a must.
Is it like go through his life history?
No, it's Henry Kashauti is narrating it with a lot of these beautiful Baba quotes. But
I don't know if I've seen it.
Yeah, you got to see it.
Avatar of the Age?
Yeah.
We'll write that down.
And the second part, I think, is Baba contacting this one must, especially.
There's a story that I just read of Baba meeting with. I find it fascinating the way that Baba met with different agents, but this one in particular, when he went to St. Francis's tomb, but it was St. Francis of St. Francis Xavier. I guess is a different saint. But yeah, the way he met him was to have Kitty go into a church and to meet this gentleman, but he didn't say he was an agent. He just said, "Can you meet this gentleman and have him come out and talk to us?" And the guy came out and he had a long beard and a suit, and he seemed to be kind of like pretty well, like, straight. He had a good mind or something, like Kitty was saying. He seemed pretty intelligent, but he was telling stories about what was he was telling stories about these dramas he's writing, and he kept talking about it. And then Baba kind of joined the circle, like they were all standing around, kind of like school children, like listening to him. And Baba kind of joined the circle, and he would make these kind of like he would look at everybody, but he would look at Baba the least. But every time he looked at Baba, it was kind of mischievous. Like he would kind of give him a look that was a little bit different than how he'd look at everybody else. And he was telling these stories, and he's like, well, one day maybe they'll get published. But anyways, you guys have a good day. And he just kind of like walked off. And then Baba said that basically he was working with that agent directly, like through the words he was saying. It was like to make everybody think it was normal, but it was actually they were both just, going sharing information. I just think it's fascinating.
Yeah.
Tinku is here.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you're talking about musts, some years ago, there was this guy, we all thought he was mad, but he used to walk around in our area, and very often down my road. He had this funny look on his face. Sort of looked like Jesus, only he was very, very tall. He'd have these shorts and a ragged t-shirt, and he'd be talking to himself and making these gestures with his hand that sort of reminded me of the gestures Baba used to make. And another thing he used to do was he would play imaginary cricket. So, you know, that sort of a thing used to always make me wonder. I wonder, is he mad or is he a must?
Yeah.
And I kind of associated him with Baba.
Yeah, that sounds a little bit like a must. I mean, they can do things that, I mean, if you watch them over a period of time, they're able to go for periods without eating or without sleeping and things that ordinary people can't do. I remember one time in Ahmednagar, there was a guy that was on the side of the road, right in the sun, lying on the side of the road, and I watched him for about 3 weeks on my way from Mehrabad to Mirzad biking, and I noticed that actually the guy's head, the guy's head was not like this. His head stayed right off the ground. I don't know how to describe it, but it would be like if you took a pillow away, his head was just off the ground. Now, there's no way someone could sit like that, lie like that for 3 weeks without their head, eventually slumping down on the road. But
Wait,
Errico said he was
sideways?
a must.
This guy was lying sideways, you said?
He was lying on, lying on his side, on the side of the road. But like I say, when I looked closer, his head wasn't touching the ground. It was, it was like, if you, if you took a pillow away from somebody and they kept their head at that same height, that's the way it was for 3 weeks. Nobody could do that.
Wow.
I mean, maybe Ferrishtay could, when she's writing a poem, poetry, translating Hafiz.
Do what now? I missed that part because I was talking to Pia on the chat.
Oh, yeah, good. No, go ahead.
No, we're done. What was I supposed to do? I got to practice.
No, I was just being crazy.
I know. I like to hear you be crazy about me.
No, I was just saying that this must lying down on the side of the road, his head stayed right in line with his spine. It didn't,
Oh man.
Yeah. And I said kind of the way it is when you're concentrating on translating Hafiz,
I can relate.
Your body, your step outside your body and yeah.
Yes.
I don't think I've come across anybody of such standards. I don't recognize anybody checking those that doesn't, I don't think I've ever come across that in my life.
A must.
Yeah, no, I mean, I when I was reading about them and I was working in San Francisco every day, I had to like literally step over them because there was a major homeless crisis in San Francisco. So I was around homeless people all the time and people who were, talking to themselves and I was at the time reading so much about them mosques, and sometimes I'd look around and be like, is there one here? And then I was like, no, I don't think so. I feel like I would feel it.
Well, see, like mind working fast is mad.
Yeah.
So there's a jerkiness to
Yeah.
People that are crazy. It's a different body language.
Right. Right. They're here to serve a higher function, I suppose.
And they're just slower in their movements. They make these commanding gestures and. Yeah, I mean, plus if you get near them, you feel very buoyed up.
What about the Jalali type?
I know I never ran into a Jalali type.
What's Jalali type?
fiery.
Fiery, yeah.
Jamali is mild, and Jalali is fiery.
You mean fiery in their behavior?
Yeah, they'll swear at you or throw stuff at you, try to keep you out of their from disturbing their absorption.
Wow.
In the divine.
And if you get smacked by them or something, I assume that has some sort of significance more than not.
Yeah, it's probably not so good to get hit by them, but you know.
No, it's not like getting hit by a perfect master. They're hitting you probably is not good. Like Jeff says, doesn't sound right. If they probably give you loads of trouble.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Was Muhammad Must a Jalali Must or no? It was not a Jalali.
I think he had been a Jalali. I mean, a Jalali Must, and then I think he became milder. He definitely was mild in all the times I spent with him, but I think he might have been a little bit fiery in the beginning.
Did you keep your distance from Muhammad the Must?
No. I used to bathe him. Used to bathe him when I would be there with Erico.
Wait, what? You bathed Muhammad the Must?
Yeah. We'd soap him down, and we just kind of soap him down over and over again, and pour the.
That explains a lot about you, Jeff.
How did you? I've never heard of you.
Go ahead, Alan. How long did it take to bathe him, Jeff?
Oh, we'd probably be at it for about 45 minutes.
Okay.
But I mean, just soaping him and then and rinsing him, soaping him, rinsing him, and he liked it.
He wasn't resistant to it?
No. Well, yeah, it took a while to kind of get him into the bath stall. Initially, yeah.
Did you feel anything around him?
Oh yeah, you feel like it's like being around an older person who is just like a child. You know what I mean? Has the innocence and purity and wonder of a child. I mean, no grown-up should be like that. So kind of innocent, and so even though he could see, I mean, he was knowing.
Yeah, he was on the fifth plane.
I remember when I first went to the Mandalay Hall at Lower Mehrabad, and Padre was showing us around the hall. It was all empty except a chair that Baba used, and a cot for Muhammad in the corner. But Padre and there were all these photographs on the upper wall, and Padre was showing us and describing these things, and I felt suddenly, this is my first trip there, I felt this wave of love just pass right through me. And I looked over there because I could tell the direction it was coming, and Muhammad was in the cot way over there, and he lowered his eyes suddenly. And then, so we're going on, and Padre was showing us these photographs and everything. And again, I felt this wave of love pass through, and I turned over there, and Muhammad just quickly looks down. So he definitely could. He was he had a loving. He could emanate love very tangibly. I mean, that kind of love would go right through you, like you were a ghost or something, and that warmth passes through you. I think I told you that we used to bring these photographs. I think I told you that about the. Tell me. We used to bring photographs to him, Baba photographs, and we'd stack them up, and they would be on one side of his cot, and he'd go, da 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 God, and he'd look at it and everything, and he'd put it in a little pile, and then he'd go back and go and look at these things one by one. It was beautiful to see. But one day we ran out of photographs, and he obviously wanted some more. So we did gather up some, but I had a photograph that Jean Shaw had given me of Baba, and at the back of it, in this little kind of plastic frame in the back of it, was some of Baba's hair. And that was, I put that there along with these other, and he's going, da 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 da, and he puts that down, and he goes that. Then he came to that one. He goes like this. Then what he does is he takes it and he puts it around behind him, and then he goes back to the photographs. And I'm thinking, he's got my Baba's hair as a pet. How am I going to get it back? I mean, he had it for 3 days, and I finally went to Padre and I said, he's got one of my photographs with Baba's hair, and Padre got it for me, But what I mean is, just a single strand of Baba's hair was, was so, you think, I mean, it's full of divine impressions, and he dwelled on that photograph and almost got away with, even though he's on a plane or something, it doesn't mean he can steal. Take my hair.
Do you still have that photograph, Jeff?
I don't. I think a buddy of mine has it.
Uh-huh. But sometimes Muhammad would have a very disconcerting stare when he'd look at you. I mean, it was as if he was reading you or looking through you.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. One time on our way up to the tomb for morning arti, we stopped by Mandalay Hall, went through the hall, and Muhammad was there, and we kind of gathered around him, and he started talking to he didn't speak English, but he spoke Hindi, so he was talking to this one lady who was with us, and we were all going up the tomb, and after we left and everything, started up the hill, and we said, well, what was he saying? What did he say? He said, people are like steel. They just won't melt.
Wow.
That's what it said, huh?
People are like steel. They just won't melt. We must have been kind of standing there, kind of upright, just like metal poles or something.
I had a very sweet experience around him.
Uh-huh.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I think I told it during the Muhammad Damas Day. Didn't we have one on Zoom? Were you there?
Oh, no, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I was told that he doesn't like women to, necessarily sit close to him or even be in his line of sight. So, but I did go sit kind of at an angle, not in front of him, but at an angle, and probably about 40 feet away. And sat there for probably 45 minutes. Mm-hmm. And he allowed it. He was very peaceful. He sat there, I sat there, and I just sat there. And then the bus bell rang. So we had to go back to wherever it was we were going. I guess it would have had to be MPR.
Probably going to Merzad, yeah.
Merzad or MPR, I don't know, yeah, somewhere. Huh. And I got up to leave, and that's when I realized what he had done to me. It was really difficult to walk back to the bus and all the way to our destination. I was just filled with this beautiful bliss energy. Yeah. I was speechless. I mean, I couldn't talk. I was hoping nobody would talk to me so that the feeling wouldn't be disturbed. But that was his gift to me. But it only lasted a little while.
Yeah, at the outer level, but inner level, Who knows?
Yeah.
But you know, when I got that little frame picture back, well, I put it in my pocket and my whole chest just kind of warmed up. I mean, heated up.
Oh,
And I said, hey, wow, you guys, put this in your pocket. See what it, and we all felt this. He must have imbued that with so much love, just a single strand of Baba's hair.
beautiful.
I guess Shraddha has come in here, you know, somewhere.
Shraddha is here.
And
Yeah,
you
Uma.
might know Yasmin she comes over from Bombay to Mehrabad. Oh, there's Shraddha.
Hi, Jai Baba.
Hey, Baba.
Hey, Baba, yeah. Well, here we are again.
Yeah.
This late night with Jeff.
Well, we're good.
Oh, she's a late nighter. Last night she put me to sleep.
And first they read out a really beautiful Hafiz poem.
Oh, thanks.
They slept over it. It was so beautiful.
Well, before we go, we ought to have one more guzzle from Hafiz.
Whenever you command.
Yeah, no, where Pia is down there. Where you were communicating with Pia?
Yes, she's here.
Uh-huh. From what, Bombay or Pune?
Yeah, where are you from?
Delhi.
Delhi.
Oh, Delhi. Oh, Delhi.
Yes, yes.
You think we can see you?
Yes. I just got up a little while back.
Oh.
And yeah. Just give me some time.
Okay, sure. And Yasmin is here.
Yasmin, she comes to Mehrabad a lot over the years.
And Uma's here.
Let's see.
Rakesh is just signing on. He's loaded with his caffeine.
You know what I was gonna say is that I just read like yesterday.
Just saying hi.
Hi, honey.
Oh, look how cute everyone is. All my friends.
Hi,
oh, hey, yeah.
I'm talking to Vanessa. Hey, you want to say hi to people in RT, Vanessa?
Sure.
You're saying hi to
Vanessa June, salam chetori.
Hey, Vanessa, right? Shafa.
Peekaboo, I see you.
That's great.
Jai Baba.
Yeah.
Hey, Baba.
I was saying that I had just recently read that mosques when they're moving around or when they're speaking or eating, that it's actually like Baba explained it, like it's like a person talking in their sleep, like they have that much consciousness of their gross actions. I just thought that was fascinating.
Yeah.
So when he's looking at you, Fresh Day, or he looked over at you, Joe, or you're watching him, like he's just like where is his conscious? Like that's what I'm wondering. Like where is this guy? Because he's saying things to you guys, but then it's like he's sleepwalking and talking.
I mean, you know, you read God Speaks and Baba talks about what that experience is, but you can just read it on paper. We have no idea what that actually feels like.
Yeah. What that experience is like, what that inner experience.
He was on the 5th plane,
Oh,
right?
yeah, there she is. Hi, honey. Now you're muted too, so.
Unmute.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Yeah, good. Hey, here's I've read this before, but you might get a kick out of this. Hey, Rakesh, there he is. Okay, this is Rumi. No, yeah, this is Rumi. A dragon hunter went to the mountains to trap a dragon. He searched everywhere and finally discovered the frozen body of a great dragon buried in snow high up on one of the tallest peaks. The man dragged the body to Baghdad and exhibited it on the bank of a river, claiming he had slain it single-handedly. Hundreds of people came to see the dragon, but as the Baghdad sun gradually warmed the body, it began to stir, slowly coming out of its winter hibernation. The people screamed and stampeded, and many were killed, including the dragon hunter, who was devoured in a single gulp. The dragon is your desire nature, which is not dead. It is merely frozen. Don't let it out in the sun of Baghdad. Your dragon, keep your dragon dormant in the snow of self-discipline. I just thought that's
Very good.
So I heard about Muhammad Must too. I read somewhere that he was going to come back, I think one life later or something, as a perfect master as well. We were talking about it yesterday, how Manija was.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
It's a little bit crazy to, you know, I guess a lot of those things to understand at a human level is almost impossible. But Manija was different compared to how the Majub Baba explains in God Speaks. The master level is different. It's hard to imagine how, you know, one versus the other, the personality could be something like a perfect master. And I guess amongst perfect masters, there are different styles and personalities too.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, that, which is a
Yeah.
beautiful thing. They are, well, even the Mandalay, you met the Mandalay, they were all so different. There weren't
Different,
anything
yeah.
alike. They were so original. I mean,
Yeah.
they, you know, usually you see family members, and these two people are a little bit alike and everything. They were absolutely unique,
Yeah.
you know,
Yep.
which is beautiful.
I still remember I did not have a copy of discourses, and I was in my teenage years or something. And I mean, I didn't know a whole lot about Baba's literature then. And I took a copy of discourses, and I really wanted one of the Mandali members to, you know, write some message for me, you know, something. And I took it to Bal Natu. He was in the trust office. He was passing by. And he refused to write anything on Baba's book, especially discourses. He was like, how dare I write anything on Baba's discourses? And so he wrote something on another piece of paper for me, a little note. I think Bhauji was a different personality. He did not hesitate to write anything on discourses. He wrote a note, nice note for me on that book. Yeah.
And they all have a different, you know, they're all
Yeah.
playing a different song, you might say.
Yeah.
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 It's great. I mean,
I just fell asleep last night listening to Bal Natu for the first time. I hadn't really heard his voice before, and I was like, "Whoa, his voice is so high pitched and so tiny." And like he was like so old, and he just looked like he was turning back into a little child again. And I fell asleep to him reading actually a portion of the discourses because Baba had told him. Oh, there we go. What is this?
Yeah, so Bal Natu wrote this on one of the pages. He wrote, God does not tolerate anything less than total honesty.
uh-huh. Uh-oh, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then this is what Bhauji wrote on the book. He says, my dearest sweet Shraddha, may beloved Avatar Meher Baba touch your heart with his love so that you may be able to make his words as the message of your life. Wow.
Beautiful. Make his words as the message of your life.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's sweet. What a treasure.
Where is that? Is that a piece of paper that you've glossed over?
Oh, these are like scanned images. This copy of this courses I left in India at my parents' place. They still have it. Somehow they keep the, everything that's been taken with the Mandali members has been scanned over and sent over to me. So I have the digital versions. I don't have the original versions.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that Baal suffered from anxiety attacks for 14 years or longer. Or sorry, Baal.
Baal Natu, yeah.
Baal Natu, yeah. He would suffer from intense panic attacks. But he always seemed kind of cheerful.
Yeah, he was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
To be with.
Yeah.
His last name is Natu, Natu. So it was Baal Natu. So Baba would say, not two, but one.
Aw. Clever Baba. Shraddha, who are your parents?
My parents, Rambhau and Asha Sorte, they live in Pune. So there's an interesting story how my parents came in touch with Madhusudan and Subhadra Pun. They were like the Pune Bhajan Mandali. Before that, we used to go, but we didn't really, get engaged that much at that level, get introduced to a lot of the Mandali people and everyone. We would just say hi, hello at a, distance. But somehow there's a story how Madhusudan Pun just somehow landed at my father's office, asking him, will you take me to Meherabad? I hear that you go to Meherabad for Amar Tithi every year. And he suddenly, apparently after Baba passed away, both Madhusudan and Subhadra disappeared from the scenes for a long, long time. I want to say about 14 plus years or so.
Oh, wow, that long.
And yeah.
There was a dispute, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, something happened. I hear that they were so poor that Baba would send them, give some monetary help to run their family and household expenses. So after Baba passed away, that couldn't be arranged. Something happened and they completely vanished from the scenes. And my dad and other people would constantly ask around, what happened? Where are they? We would love to meet them. And then suddenly, once in a blue moon, Madhusudan happens to be in the office of my father. And he introduces himself as, Namaskar, me Madhusudan Pund. I'm Madhusudan Pund. And my dad was like shocked. He was like, what? Am I dreaming? And so he completed his stuff and then he said, I hear that you go to Meherabad every year for Amar Tithi. Would you take me? And after that, every year for Amar Tithi, we would go with him. So he was the main person who sort of got us close in touch with other Mandali people and other Baba lovers there. So including Rao family and the others. And every year, like Madhusudan was a great singer, he would write new compositions and he would love to present them at Amar Tithi. So he would have fresh poems to be sung and, we would be the two little kids performing on his bhajans on the Amar Tithi stage there. Yeah, me and my sister. So yeah.
He must have written
those
about
are fun
500
times.
songs. Yeah.
Yeah, he wrote a lot many.
You hear at the tomb. Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to have ghazals translated to English and made into a book.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I actually have one of his bhajan books with me, written in Hindi and Marathi.
Project.
If any of you have heard his songs, I mean, it was completely different hearing him perform Baba's bhajans. It was like just so mesmerizing. I mean, the way, it can only be experienced. I don't think it can even be described, Madhusudan's performances.
Showing his book.
This is his Sampurna Meher Geet Dhara.
Yeah.
This is all Madhusudan's bhajans.
That's
But
beautiful.
there's Hindi and Marathi bhajans in here. But
That's
the
awesome.
thing is, there's so many songs in here for which we don't, I don't know the melodies to. Like a lot of them, I don't know the melodies.
Yeah.
We know the popular ones which are sung most often, and we all know those,
Right.
but not the others. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when I
hear. Yeah. Go ahead, Jeff.
when I was at the first Amartithi I went to, which was in 1972, this guy, you know, we were all up at the tomb there and thousands of people. And this guy came up on the stage and singing. He was like electrifying. You could not watch him. I mean, he was like lightning or something. I mean, he was singing, and his voice was coming from all around you. It wasn't coming from, it wasn't directional. And that turns out to be a very high state of singing, where where the sound comes from, there's no direction, it's all around you.
Surround sound, natural.
Surround, the real thing. And I felt that this man, I didn't know who he was. I didn't know the Hindi he was singing, but I felt that this guy was singing for me to Baba.
Wow.
He was actually, I mean, it is a phenomenon. I mean, it was like, he is singing for my heart to Baba. It was incredible. I mean, I've never witnessed anything like it. I mean, the only time I was mesmerized by someone's movement was I went to see Baryshnikov, who was the Russian ballet master, and his movement was so in tune with the music that you couldn't separate them, and you could not take your eyes off of him. So a very rare, and Madhusudan was that way when he sang. He was just really something.
Baba did work through him also.
What's that?
Baba did a lot of work through Madhusudan, and I think even to remove the caste system, because he was of the lower caste and Subhadra was of the highest caste, and the whole marriage took place, and Baba said, this is the last marriage which I'm doing work through him. So he did a lot of work also through him.
Yeah. Well, see, Madhusudan was the Brahmin, and Subhadra, who was wealthy, was the untouchable.
No, it's the other way around, I think.
Really?
No.
Madhusudan was a Brahmin.
Madhusudan is a Pandit. He's from Pandit
family. Okay.
But look at what Baba did, you know. I mean, and you know, he broke a lot of the customs and traditions and all of that.
Is there any recordings of Madhusudan? Do we have any
Bhajans, you mean?
No, I mean like live recordings of him singing.
I have some.
It's there. Amartithi recordings are there.
Yeah,
a lot of them
there's
are there.
plenty on YouTube.
You'll find them on YouTube.
MP3s.
He had a stroke, and so he sang much lower. But the singing, his singing before his stroke was just.
Alan, there is a CD of his with all artis. I mean, not English, but Marathi, Hindi, and if you get hold of it, I can send those songs to you if you want. But that's so divine, and his voice is just beautiful. It's extraordinary.
Yeah, I've been looking
got it right there
without knowing his name.
It's called Meher Gita, Meher Geet Dhara.
Yeah, exactly.
There are these two CDs.
Yeah.
Meher, sorry, I'm not very good.
CDs or
Yeah.
Gita.
Okay.
Gita.
I'll put it in the chat box.
I had somebody make me one, and it was beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah. And
you can hear his voice pretty good. Is it good recordings?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, perfect. That particular CD is very good.
But
One thing that always strikes me about Madhusudan's style, though, is, you know, he comes from a very common man's standpoint. And sometimes he makes all those witty kind of remarks in his, you know, bhajans. You know, and that's, you know, it's you know, it's humor, entertaining, and at the same time, truth piercing. Like it's heart piercing. It brings out the reality too. So I think that's something that I would say was his identifying how Madhusudan's style of writing bhajans was.
and the
Would
melody.
you say that, Jeff?
Well, I didn't speak Hindi, so I mean, he was great to be with. I mean, because he spoke English well, but in a very rare among musicians, his words and melodies came together.
Yeah.
Most people, they come up with a melody and then they work hours and hours. There I am, actually back. There's Madhusudan and Pratap and
Is this Madhusudan, the one here?
yeah, that's Madhusudan.
Yeah.
And this is Pratap, very young Pratap. Did you see him this morning?
He didn't sing this morning.
He came on Zoom just to say hello and greet us. We had a lovely.
Oh, I wish I had known that.
But he's coming tomorrow officially to give a nice talk. And who is this gentleman?
Mystery.
That is I know it.
Isn't that Mystery?
Yeah, it's Mystery. I'm trying to think of his first name.
Kishore Mistry.
Sharing this?
Yeah, Kishore.
From Bombay,
Kishore.
His daughter sings. I used to what I used to do.
Yeah, Kishore is written down. Kishore Mistry.
Yeah.
Just a little brief for Alan. May I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
जन्म जन्म की सारी तपस्या हो गई पल में सब मिल बोलो प्रेम से बोलो सब मिल बोलो बोलो मेहर नाम 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 नाम
Manju.
Sorry. Anywho.
The one Arti is the very beautiful one is written by him.
Oh yeah.
Which one is that?
Yaha Kalpana, yeah. That's there in the CD. Yaha Kalpana. That's there. It is.
Jeff is talking.
No, that's what Mehrama, Yaha Kalpana.
Yeah.
Divya Sanatana Paramadayakana.
Yeah, it's
Nirmana, yeah.
Sing one of the verses of it, Sally. Yeah.
No, start with the beginning.
Is that the
Jahan Kalpana.
Yeah, it starts out
Shabd na pahuche aise aparampa neti neti ved pukare mahima गौरी अपार दिव्य सनातन परम दया घन दिव्य सनातन परम दया घन हे जगदोद्धारो मेहर मन आरती स्वीकारो मेहर मन आरती स्वीकारो. That's all.
This one, right?
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
But
So
it,
good.
when you get the percussion and the harmonium going, it really moves.
Another one I really like, Jeff, is a Marathi arti.
Oh my
So,
God, that's my
Oh,
favorite. And
yeah.
you guys do such a nice job,
Yeah.
Elijah.
That much by
I
Bal-
love Marathi arti. It is so moving, and they always play it on the big screen at Amar Tithi time when they start, just before they start the Baba film. Heaven.
which I think is a translation of the same song.
Oh,
Correct me if I'm
Yeah,
wrong, but I think
really?
that's correct. Yeah.
Wow. Does anyone know how to sing that? I mean,
Mm,
I know, say Elijah does. Just give us a few, a little.
I'm sure Rakesh knows. Rakesh speaks Marathi, I suppose, no?
And Shraddha must be knowing it. Shraddha,
I'm a Maharashtrian too. I speak Marathi as well. Yeah.
yeah. Sing the Marathi Aarti for us, Shraddha.
Let's see if I remember this correct. मेहर अवतारा स्वीकारा आरती ही तुमची केली मनी निरंजन लावणी ज्योत मनाची मेहर अवतारा स्वीकारा आरती ही तुमची केली मनी निरंजन लावणी ज्योत मनाची धूप जाळणी दीप लावणी पुष्पे अर्पुणी ओ देवा पुष्पे अर्पुणी मोठेपण का मजला तुमचे तुम्हा देऊनी मेहर अवतारा स्वीकारा आरती ही तुमची केली मनी निरंजन लावणी ज्योत मनाची.
Was that? I mean, did Madhusudan write that?
Yeah.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah, he did. He did.
The melody is absolutely divine.
Oh, that's unbelievable, actually. Yeah.
Katie used to sing it, and Mani and Mara. I mean, I've heard them sing that. I didn't know
Really?
that was a Madhusudans.
Oh my God, I would love to hear them sing that. Is that recorded anywhere?
They they do have some recordings of Katie singing.
Wow.
Katie.
Wow.
So did Madhusudan, is there a recording of him singing that song?
That I don't know. I think Pia would know if it's on that CD.
Yeah, I think I have that CD, Alan. I'm going to digitize it and send it over to you.
Yeah.
And me.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I've heard that song, but I didn't know where it came from, and I'm not sure if it was.
And me too, please, Farishte.
Yes.
Thank you.
So is this
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Marathi arti sung by Madhusudan? Is that what you have?
I have all of them, the Hindi, Marathi, and a couple of beautiful songs he sang. And actually, in addition to that, there is couple of songs sung by, forget his name. Oh God, he's got a voice that is just out of the world. I have a feeling that Jeff listened to him, yeah, but I'm forgetting his name. Actually, Pia, are you there?
Pia, you mean?
Yeah. Can you read the name of the other singer who sang a couple of songs on that Parvartikara and the New Life song by Ghani Munsif?
Madhukar? No.
Not
No,
Madhukar.
my CD does not mention
Oh, okay.
any such names, only
Is it
Madhusudan.
Narendra
Sridhar
Thakur?
Pund. It just says
Huh?
Madhusudan Sridhar Pund.
That's his name.
No, but I'll give you the name, and I tell you, those two songs are also just out of this world. I mean, the whole CD is just unbelievable. The best CD I ever have.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No,
And I tell you, all will enjoy. I mean, no matter which language, they pour out love. Yeah.
I mean, I enjoy it so much by just a melody. Imagine what it would be like to understand the meaning of the words. That would be just awesome.
Mm.
Well, I think it's after 12 o'clock our time. Day and myself, Angela, well, she's
All in the East, go to bed.
Pratap is going to sing tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock.
I don't know if he's singing. I don't know if he's in a physical shape to sing anymore, but he's going to talk.
Yeah, he's great.
No, he mentioned he's going to talk.
He may sing?
And no, he's going to talk.
Okay, good.
One day he's going to cover up Guru Prasad. One day he's going to cover up the Mahabaleshwar, his trip to the Mahabaleshwar. He said four of these talks he's going to give each of the days when he's going to come in. He's going to talk more than he's going to sing. So I'm not sure about singing.
He and Madhusudan were buddies, and they all they were Baba's private musicians from the 50s on.
Can I show you guys?
Bhajan Mandli, they should call them. Baba's Bhajan Mandli.
Yeah, Dr. Ghani, who was Baba's childhood, schoolmate, and, grew up with him. And he was, Adi once described Dr. Ghani as the laziest man he had ever met. And Baba let him get away with it. He didn't do anything. He did the thinking and everything. But Ghani went on the New Life. Baba wanted him to go on the New Life, and of course along the way he had a heart attack, and he managed to make it through 6 months of the New Life, as rigorous as it was. And Baba sent him then back to Pune, and he stayed in this hostel, which was owned by, forgot the guy's name, but all these young people were there. And Ghani was a great storyteller and everything. And all these young people like Pratap and Madhusudan and everything, they all gathered around and they'd stay up late. Well, they're supposed to be studying and going to school, but they would stay up late and and just hear the stories about Baba. They all came to Baba. And then he got them singing songs, writing singing songs, and I think Godacare, who was Digambar's father, and they kind of organized this thing. And in the middle of the New Life, for the entertainment, Baba had them come up to Mahabaleshwar. But Pratap was just 14 at the time, but they were really into singing. But Subhadra, that was Madhusudan's wife, beautiful person, lovely, so loving. But so they started in 1950 singing for Baba, and they sang all the way till the very end, practically. But they really got a kick out of Dr. Ghani because he was very funny but brilliant. In fact, Baba used to call him Socrates or Big Head. Big Head was another name for him.
Baba actually hoped that he complete God Speaks from his side, right? I mean, Jeff? He wants him to finish writing God Speaks. But like you said, Ghani was a bit lazy and he wouldn't complete it, even though he has all the information with him.
Yeah, truly. And you probably know the story where Baba kind of in the early days restricted the mandali to 1 cup of tea and 1 cigarette. And Baba was very strict about that. And so what does Ghani do? I mean, because he was buddies with Baba growing up. He went out and got this huge cup. Filled it with tea, and he would sip on that all day. And then he had to they had to make a cigarette that was really long. So he used to, smoke it and then put it out and then smoke it until Baba caught him. What's this? But you said there's 1 cup of coffee and 1 cigarette.
You didn't say how big.
Huh? Yeah, he just.
You didn't say how big.
he got away with one time in the tail end of the new life. Baba, there was a gathering in Hyderabad, and there were a lot of men there. I don't know, maybe 60 or something. And Baba told them they were all supposed to bathe before the gathering the next day. And so the next day, Baba asked did everyone obey, and there were some that didn't. And Baba, like, had them stand up. You didn't bathe. What, I asked you to do it. And Ghani says, but when the dust of your presence was on my body, how could I dare bathe? It's something like okay. Presence. He was so lazy. I mean, Adi described him. He was so lazy. He took only a bath one day a week.
Once a week.
He'd wear this 3-piece suit, which he would sleep in, and he'd wake up in the morning and he'd just kind of try to press the wrinkles out of it.
Actually, I also heard stories of Mandli trying to fake a bath in the morning.
Oh,
they
yeah.
would just go into the water, pour water here and there, and
bathroom.
then make some noises and come out because it's so cold in the morning.
In that Manzili meme, yeah. No, he was.
And Jeff, you know that story when he came late and Baba had slapped him?
Yeah.
One of the days he had told him to compose, write an essay on Baba, and Baba used to come late every day. But that particular day he came on time and Gandhi came late.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember, and his was the best essay of all of them. Yeah. Yeah.
So Baba was upset that he came late, so he slapped him. Like he was angry on him and he slapped him. So he went and sat. And then again, after 2 minutes, he called him like how Baba, the second time he hugs him and he says it's okay. But even the next time he slapped him and immediately told him like, okay, start saying the story, And he started telling him the passage, what he wrote about Baba, which was the best. And then after that, Baba said, even though I got angry on you because you came in late and I slapped you, yet how could you continue being so natural, So he's saying, Baba, actually, I just thought you're my school friend. So what difference does it make?
Yeah.
So I just continued with, I mean, it's in the friendship. So it doesn't matter whether you slap me.
Yeah, I forgive you. You were my childhood friend.
Yeah.
One time, Baba drove him out of the room for not doing something properly. Just angry. Baba said, "Get! I don't want to see your face." And Gandhi kind of gets up and goes, and he turns around. And he says, "Well, you might send my body away, but you won't be able to take me out of your heart." And Baba said, "Okay." You come up with these great lines.
Oh, unbelievable. Actually, he has beautiful
Try to take me out of your heart,
He has fantastic articles in Meher Baba journals, and he would contribute a whole lot. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go.
You want a little sip of Hafez before you go?
Oh,
or
yes,
no?
yes, that's it. Good.
Okay. I was getting one ready for you.
Okay.
The atmosphere in the garden is joy-giving, and the conversation among friends pleasant. This is us tonight. The time of the rose is a blissful time, and their intoxication is from his wine. Our soul is renewed each moment from the breeze of the beloved. Yes, yes, the breath of the lovers of God are fragrant from breathing that air. Even before opening its bud fully, the rose plays the melody of its death. Go ahead and moan, O nightingale. The song of the sorrowful lover is pleasant to hear. It is a happy news to the night singing nightingales, lovers who stay up at night singing beloved's praises, that on the path of love, the beloved delights in the nocturnal laments of his lovers. There is nothing in the marketplace of the world that is soul nourishing, except the selfless, carefree, and blissful living ways of the lovers of God. I heard from the tongue of the pure-hearted iris that in this ancient world, only those who travel with a light load are truly joyful. O Hafez, to renounce the world is the way to ultimate happiness. Don't ever think that those who cling tightly to the world are happy.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Yeah, I got one. See if I can find this one quote. I don't know if I'll find. Ah, shoot.
That was so apropos for our gatherings, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Very.
Ah, darn it. I one from a little thing from Rumi that was quite good.
Hey, Freshta, is that possible for you to send that to me, or are you still working on that, or how does that work?
Well, you know, when the desire is pure, God delivers, right?
Just happens.
Yeah, I don't even know if I have your email, Alan. Put it in the chat for me.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll end with Rumi here. When the beloved begins pouring his divine wine, don't hesitate for a moment to approach him, even if all you have to hold out is a dirty cup. I'll read it again. When the beloved begins pouring his divine wine, don't hesitate for a moment to approach him, even if all you have to hold out is a dirty cup.
Wow.
Don't wait until your cup is clean. Just, hold it out there when he's pouring. Okay.
Thank you. Jai Baba.
And Yasmin, we saw you briefly. Uma, are you still there? She's down in Hyderabad. Pia is there, waking up. Yeah. And
Jai Baba. All.
yeah, Jai Baba. You see you guys.
Jai
Baba.
Thank you, Jai Baba. Thank you.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. Jai Baba.
See you, Alan.
See you later.
Good night, everyone. I'm off to bed too. This late night business messes my day.
You'll sleep well. You'll sleep well.
Good night.
Good night.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Who's staying?
I can stay.
Yeah, how are you doing, Dinku? I haven't talked to you in a while.
Yeah, I'm doing okay, thank you. Keeping busy.
Yeah, you have
But
your dog.
yeah, yeah, I got to cook for him and then take him down and keep playing with him. He keeps me busy, along with other stuff.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it's been very busy over here. This past week, in terms of my work, it's been very overwhelming. But
uh-huh.
yeah. But I think we do the best we can. I think in the midst of the longer the pandemic goes on, the more that people are losing their jobs, and the more that it creates more pressure for the people who still have their jobs to do more, because there's less, there's less of the other people doing their jobs. So it's kind of, I feel this kind of squeezing sensation, because even people in my other departments are getting dropped. So
Oh.
it's definitely very, the pressure is on to even take on other departments' work. Yeah. So I mean, I definitely, every day though, what brings me through is just like, there's the little moments that come in where it's like Baba kind of flash, he's like, this is all mine. This is all relatively real. Like, don't grasp on so hard to this. Even though in the moment, it feels very challenging to, let go of, because it just feels so important. But it really,
Yeah, I know. I think this is Baba testing us in many ways.
yes.
And it's not just individually, but also globally, to see how many can really wake up to what we've been doing, and how we have to change.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, and more people, I find more people are more frustrated lately. There's more
That's
frustration.
because of all the restrictions that we've had to undergo. But then how many are really accepting it and learning to live with it and adapt?
Yeah.
Because that's the main thing, and the more that this is my take, I mean, the more that people can do that, the quicker this thing will go. And then we have to change a whole new way of thinking and living, and stuff like that.
Definitely. It's not, I
Sort
can't
of.
imagine it being the same.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I said I can't imagine it staying the same after all this.
No.
I don't imagine. I can't see how. I mean, in terms of everything in the United States is sort of disintegrating. But yeah, I don't know. I think like you said, those people who are trying to focus on how to become flexible with it, or see Baba in all of it, it's really, that's all we can really do. I'm lucky that my wife, for example, is, she has the same kind of outlook of,
Yeah.
it'd be very hard if she wasn't a Baba lover and she was like, why do you keep talking about Baba? I don't understand. We got to be practical.
Yeah, that's true. So
So
how have you both been doing otherwise? I mean, how,
well, we've been doing good. It's just trying to navigate every day, the chores and taking care of ourselves, and spending enough time together and all that. And yeah, so it's just like a balancing act.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you?
Just trying to take each moment as it comes, basically. I mean, it was the first time I went out of my area was 2 days ago, when I took the dog to the vet, because I hadn't stepped out since the lockdown.
Wow.
But now I think I'm going to start doing a little bit of socializing,
Like social distancing?
Yeah, with social distancing. But no, I mean, meeting a couple of friends and stuff.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it does kind of get you down, just not really having much social contact.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think luckily I'm pretty introverted, so I have a pretty long endurance for this kind of thing. But um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, some people they're more extroverted and they get more energy from being around people, so it's very, very, very challenging for them in terms of being, being restricted to being at home.
Well, I wouldn't say I used to be extremely extroverted, but
Ah,
in the last couple of years, I've sort of changed. I'm happy to be with myself,
yeah,
but at the same time, I do like to interact with like-minded people, you know, not where we can talk things like how we discuss here
yeah,
and, stuff like that.
yeah,
So, I love a good discussion and, hearing other points of views and stuff.
yeah.
So people that I can interact with on that level.
Right, right. Rather than small talk.
Yeah. Oh, I can't stand small talk. And yeah, and it's sort of you tend to get a different perspective as well from other people when
Absolutely.
who have the same line of thought.
Yeah. Were you here when we were talking about poise?
About who?
We were talking about the attribute of having poise.
I did catch a little bit of that, not the whole thing, because I had to take the dog down for a walk.
Yeah. Yeah, that I was reading that Baba said that what is spirituality? Poise.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect poise. Make the most of every situation.
Yeah.
I don't know even what that means for me.
Uh, well, I'll have to think about that a little bit. It makes a lot of sense because it's basically like this is how I'm looking at it, that whatever situation you're faced with, sort of you have to take it in your stride.
Mhm.
Don't let it get to you, upset you. It's very difficult to do. It's not possible every time.
Mm-hmm.
But that's basically in a nutshell, I think. But you wrote to me and you told me about that chapter on death.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I haven't touched that book yet. In fact, I just got a couple of books from the Mayor Book House here.
Oh,
So
nice.
I've started reading it, but I haven't gone through its big chapter.
Yes, in Listen Humanity.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's a pretty big chapter. So I've just started reading. I started reading it yesterday, but then I got to get distracted with some other stuff. But I'll finish it today for sure.
Have you ever read it before?
I'm sorry?
Have you ever read it before, or is this your first time?
No, my first time. I've had a lot of Baba books, but I haven't really gone through each and every one. Well, I wouldn't say a lot there because there are tons of books, but I have quite a few. I've always started something, read a little bit here, a little bit there, and that was it.
Yeah.
So now I really intend to get into it.
Mm-hmm.
Have you read Arnavaz's book?
Which one is that?
Hang on a second. It's here somewhere. Yeah, The Gift of God.
Gift of God. Can I see the cover?
Hang on a sec. Can you see it?
Oh, yes. No, I don't think I've read that.
Oh, it's a very nice book. You should read it.
What is it? What's the style of it? Is it more for like personal stories or?
Yeah, it's sort of like how she got into her life with Baba. And it says here, my life with Baba shows clearly how he draws to himself his chosen ones, who knowingly and unknowingly yearn to be with him.
Knowingly and unknowingly.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a nice book.
Yeah. It always gets to me how Baba works is just very, Yeah, like now for example, my mother, I sent her this book, Love Alone Prevails by Kitty Davy,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
she's not, doesn't really know much about Baba, but recently she just has suddenly opened up, and she's about to have surgery tomorrow morning,
Oh,
for a, what is it, hernia?
hernia. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it's quite a minor surgery, but she still has to get put under. But I just like told her anyways. I was like, hey, you just take Baba's name before you they put you to sleep. And she said, okay, I will. She said maybe I could take a little picture of Baba and put it under my pillow. And I was like, yeah,
Yeah, that's
you want to.
great.
Yeah, so
Oh, tell her not to worry about it. My husband's had 4 hernia surgeries, and he called me the other day. As I said, he's in LA. He called me the other day, and he said he'd been having some issues with his stomach, and he was scared his cancer's come back.
Oh, no.
So he said, no, it wasn't that. Thank God, that's clear. But the doctor said it's probably a small hernia that's starting again. So it's no big deal, but you just have to take care. You can't lift heavy things. You can't bend down too much and all that stuff.
So why do they have to put you to sleep? Is that because they need to go under?
Oh, yeah, they do. And I don't know how they do it there, but I think it was for the hernia. I think they put a kind of a mesh-like thing on that area. I guess it depends on where it is.
Yes, yeah. She had one before.
Good night, Farishte. Yeah.
Oh, did she message you?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
I didn't see.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I thought I was looking for her message. I didn't see it. Yeah.
I think it was to me. Yeah.
Yeah. She had one like 10 years ago or 15 years ago or something like that. And they said, well, we see very, very, very tiny one on your other side of your stomach. And do you want us to just take care of that, soon?
Mm-hmm.
She was like,
yeah.
No, I'll just wait. And so now it's like, it's gotten to the point where she just has to have it. So, but yeah, she said, one thing that I'm happy about this surgery is that I get to be in bed and read Kitty's book. And I was like, wow. I don't know why she said these things. I don't know what I mean, it has to be Baba just working with her in the way that he works with her. Because, I used to talk about Baba all the time, and I noticed she would really calm down and like just get to the point where she would get so relaxed, because my mom was a super kind of like jumpy person, so she would always calm down and almost she would start nodding off when I start talking about Baba and the mosques and all this stuff, and she would just get to the point where she was nodding, and I'd be like, all right, well, I gotta go now, and she'd be like, no, wait, just I like when you talk about Baba. It helps me relax.
So you're the agent for Baba, for your mom.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, she's always been very, very giving to me. So, she always is thinking of my needs or what I want, or just constantly. I mean, and I never realized it till I got older how much it happened all the time, every moment. It's just like automatic. Like she doesn't stop. You can't stop just being like, wait, why don't you take this, take this, take this? And I'm like, well, what is this? And she's like, it's good for you, just take it. And I'm like, what? Oh, this is like a $45, $50 honey. And she's like, yeah, just take it. It's good for you. It's very healing. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's Manuka honey or something like that.
Yeah.
Just constantly like little things like, do you need anything? Do you want some candles? I have some nice candles. I'm like, no, I don't need candles. So I think because she's been so loving for me, she's just very receptive to anything I say. She really opens up, like wants to hear. And I think that avenue, when I started talking about Baba, with the amount of how I felt so moved, she couldn't stop. Yeah.
Under sipping. Yeah. I think we're all, I did get very much into Baba, and then I had this sort of a lull when I kind of moved away. Moved away in the sense that, he was always there. I'd sort of do his universal prayer every day and stuff like that, but not really, like I am now. And it was when this lockdown started, and then I started feeling lost, sort of at sea. I used to pray to Baba and just, tell him, I'd say, bless the virus as well, because that's what you brought in to awaken all of us, to the planet and all her life forms, and how we have to love and respect it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I never knew about the circle of friends or anything, and it just happened, things just started happening. And then I noticed there's a lot of synchronicity that's happening now, and I know it's Baba who's doing it, like, even as
synchronicity in your life.
Yeah, with small little things, like, for example, I'd ordered these Baba books from Mayor Bookhouse, and it was quite a while, and they said, we've shipped your order. And the other day I was just I said, let me ask them, find that tracking order, the tracking thing on their email, and see where that book has reached, where the parcel has reached. And as I was searching for that email and to find that tracking number and thing, the phone rang. And then I picked it up, and it was the postman. He's saying, I've got a parcel for you, and, can you just give me directions to your house? And I did that, and it was that very parcel.
Wow.
Yeah. And, similar things, like there was another order as well. I was looking out for something, and, at that very same moment, it just happened.
Yeah.
So, just silly little things, like even for this dog, I don't know, I didn't intend to adopt a dog. I thought I'd just foster. And when I called this lady up, she's with an NGO for animals. I called her up to ask her if she's got a dog that, needs fostering. And she just started talking to me about this guy. And I don't even know why I just said, it came out of me, I'll take him.
Wow.
And after I said it, I said, what did I say? Why did I say that? Where did that come from? I don't know. It just happened.
Yeah.
So I strongly feel that it's Baba working through me.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's very similar to how this book, that when I ordered that book and sent it to my mom from Sherry Our Bookstore, I put in the wrong billing address, because I was doing 3 things at once, and so I put in the wrong billing address, and I was like, oh, I already pressed send, and I was like, oh man. And so I checked the emails, and I was like, I tried to call them and send them an email and saying, hey, I put the wrong information. Can I put the right information so that you can send it? And so, I'm not getting any response back. And then maybe literally like 3 days later, my mom sends me a text with the book in her hand. She's like, you guys sent me this? And I was like, I never even got, still to this day, I don't have a confirmation email that says it was sent, that says that anything. It just says, I'm like, okay, like it would just, and I chose the slowest delivery method, because it was going to be like $15, $20 more if I chose the next rank up, which was like 3 to 3, I know it was like I don't know, like a week or something was like So I don't know how that happened. It was all the way from like across the United States. So
Yeah, that's Baba. That's Baba working. His.
How did that? I mean, I'm trying to think literally. How did somebody might have literally accidentally put it on like overnight shipping on, they might have like, I don't know how that would have happened, but with the wrong billing address or with the wrong name, with the wrong name on the billing address and all this other stuff, and all like directly to her. So yeah,
Wow.
that's an example of that where it's unmistakable that Bob shows us these little gifts to keep our spirits up, I think, because there's so much that we could just make, these situations much worse in our minds.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a few instances of things that that's just unexplainable, you know. I believe Baba doesn't like us saying miracles, but to me, I think in a way it was a miracle. Like years ago when I was really going through a rough patch here at home with my daughter and family and stuff like that. And the doorbell rang and I opened it and it was the postman with a parcel for me. I said, okay. I mean, I took it. It was my name and address and everything on it, but I didn't know who the sender was. And when I opened it, it was from the US, mind you. And I opened this parcel and there was this book. Oh gosh, I'll tell you the name in a minute. Hello?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I don't know. Someone called Oppo came on.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. Anyway, and there was this book by Joyce H. Brown. I don't know who she was. She was the author of the book, and I have no clue. I'm just trying to see if I can see it amongst all my books. I have no clue why she sent it to me, how she got my email address. I mean, my mailing address and my name. Absolutely no clue. It was like, out of the blue.
Wow.
And just hang on, I've got to find that book and I'll show you what she wrote inside. Whoa.
But she sent it directly to you.
Yeah, directly to me. Here, hang on a second.
Wow.
It's called Heavenly Answers for Earthly Challenges. And it's near-death experience reveals how to make certain you enjoy the other side when you get there.
Wow.
And in it, hang on, where's that book? Here, can you see that?
Yeah, she signed it and everything.
Yeah.
Wait, what's her
name? Can you read it?
Say Renee Brown.
Joyce H. Brown.
Joyce A. Brown.
H.
Yeah.
H. And she's written in there, to Dilnavaz, believe in miracles. I hope you enjoy. And then Joyce H. Brown. And she's even put her email address. Now, I have no clue. I've never heard of her. And why she sent me that book at that, why was that book sent to me at that particular time? And I emailed her later on and I asked her, I said, how did you get my name and why was this book sent to me? But she corresponded with me, but she never, ever answered that.
She didn't answer you?
No, she answered me, but she never said how she got my name and address, why she sent that book.
Wow.
She never said that. That is something that completely stumped me. And I read that book right through.
Wow.
It came at such a at the right time for me.
Is she an American?
Yeah, she is, but I don't think she's alive anymore. It's near-death the thing is, it says near-death survivor provides hope to those who think life is not worth living. And that's exactly what my situation was at that time.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lifesaver.
Yeah. So, you know, I mean, there have been instances like this that have happened in my